Hello, everyone. After a long time of living in a daze, he finally remembered everything. The image of the person who beat him, the dark plots and the pain of being deceived, appeared clearly in his mind. His eyes were cold, his steps were determined. The policeman was no longer the injured person, but the one who was returning to demand justice. Hang gently placed her hand on Nat's shoulder, his eyes filled with tears, his voice trembling slightly. Not, I remember now. Every moment, every word you said, even the worried look in your eyes. Every time I had a headache, everything came back to me as if it had never been lost. He choked up. I remember how strong you were when you took care of me, even though I no longer recognized you. I remember you crying silently every time I pushed you away. At that time, my heart probably didn't remember, but now it does. Not looked at him, his eyes red, his lips trembling, unable to speak. Not looked at Hang and smiled gently. I'm going to weed the fields, you stay home with the kids. I'll go early and come back early to be with you too. Hang replied softly, then be careful at work. As soon as Not left the house, Hang immediately started preparing a place for the gas stove. He started sawing each piece of wood. The sound of sawing echoed steadily in the quiet morning. Sweat began to appear on his forehead, but Hang was still attentive and meticulous. He wanted to make a sturdy table to place the stove on, replacing the old, rickety one. Every time he sawed, he thought about the upcoming meal, about the simple warmth that the couple was building together. Although Hang worked alone, her son was always there to watch and cheer her on. Sometimes the boy would shout, "Dad, you're so good," or "Dad, you did it," making her laugh. That innocent encouragement seemed to give her strength. In the field, Sinnhat was diligently pulling out clumps of grass between the rows of young green rice. Sweat soaked her back, but she did not stop. The sun was scorching hot, the ground was steaming hot, but Not persisted. Each decisive movement seemed to carry the determination not to let the dream of the harvest be ruined. She was busy weeding the field, completely unaware that at home, her husband was secretly preparing a small surprise. He quietly built a sturdy new kitchen table, just hoping that when she came home, she would be happy and feel his silent love. Hang was intently sawing each piece of wood, sweat dripping down his shirt, but he did not stop. The sharp eyes of the man who was used to neatness were now focused on every inch, measuring and marking each section that needed to be cut. The rough pieces of wood were neatly arranged next to him. The sound of the drill echoed loudly, wood shavings flying everywhere, but he remained focused. Each drill mark was even and straight. He had to finish the kitchen table before Not returned from the field. Next to Hang, Long, the 5th grade boy, was helping his father hold the wooden bars. Although his hands were still small, his eyes were full of excitement and pride. Every time Hang pulled the saw, Long held the other end tightly, tilting his head to look closely to learn how his father did it. But then Long's eyes suddenly stopped at a piece of scrap wood that looked a bit like a car body. The boy innocently asked, "Dad, can we make a wooden car?" Hang stopped, looked at her son for a moment, then smiled. "Okay, I'll make one for you later." When the kitchen table had gradually taken shape, Hang took out a few small pieces of wood, started cutting and sawing them into pieces. The wheels, the car body, and even the glass doors were all meticulously polished by him. Long sat next to him, so excited that he couldn't even blink. In less than 30 minutes, a simple but sturdy wooden car was in the boy's hands. "It's done, try running it," Hang said, handing the car to her son. Long pushed it lightly, and the car rolled on the tiled floor. He exclaimed with delight, "It's so beautiful, Dad. Later, I also want to work with wood like you." After finishing the sturdy wooden table, Hang quickly wiped the sweat off her forehead, raised her head to look at the sky, which was already noon. Without hesitation, he washed his face quickly and immediately went to the shop to buy a gas stove. At the shop, Hang chose a good gas stove, then without hesitation carried the gas tank on his back. The shop owner looked at him with concern. "Do you need me to have someone take you home?" Hang just smiled. "No need, my house is close. I'm used to it." After saying that, he bent down, carefully tied the rope, and carried the heavy gas tank on his shoulder. Every step on the bumpy dirt road made his back ache, but his eyes remained determined. He walked through the sunny fields, sweat pouring out like a shower, his shirt sticking to his body. Someone passing by looked on, admiring. whose husband is so hardworking. After finishing weeding the field, Sinnhat took the opportunity to stop by her mother's house, her clothes still covered in mud. Seeing her mother sweeping the yard, she walked over, unable to hide her joy. "Mom, Hang remembers everything, including me and Long." She looked at her daughter for a long time, then her eyes lit up. "Really? Did she really remember?" "Yes, really, Mom. He's even making the kitchen table. He made it himself. He laughed so much, Mom." She spoke loudly, her voice filled with emotion. "Then let me see. I'm so happy. Oh my God, I've been so sorry for you guys for the past few months. Looking at you makes me feel so sorry." She's so happy now that she remembers. "Mom, I was worried if you could make it. Come on, take me over and see." Without waiting another second, she followed Nhat right away. She was both happy and worried, hoping to see with her own eyes that her son-in-law had regained his senses, so that she could rest assured and believe that the small family could finally be completely happy. On the way back, Hang felt her shoulders starting to numb from the weight of the gas tank. Sweat poured down like a shower. Her legs slowed down. He took a deep breath, found a tree by the roadside, put the gas tank down, and sat down to catch his breath for a while. His shirt was soaked, his hands were shaking slightly from fatigue, but his eyes still shone with determination. After a few minutes of rest, he stood up, tightened the strap, and continued walking, thinking of his wife's smile when she saw the surprise gift. As soon as they got home, Sinnhat and his mother saw that the front yard was unusually quiet. Not seeing Hang, Nhat called out loudly, "Brother Hang, where are you?" Long answered his mother. "Dad went to buy a gas stove, Mom. Dad just finished making a beautiful wooden table. He said he would install the stove when Mom came back." Hearing that, Nhat burst into happy laughter, while her mother nodded repeatedly, her mouth constantly praising, "Oh my God, my son-in-law is really good." The three of them rolled up their sleeves and went into the kitchen, cleaning, arranging the furniture neatly, leaving a neat space to put the new stove. The atmosphere was bustling. Laughter rang out endlessly. Happiness seemed to be returning very close after many stormy days. Just then, Hang walked in from the gate, her back covered in sweat, still carrying a heavy gas tank. Seeing his wife, children, and mother-in-law cleaning in the kitchen, he burst out laughing in surprise. Nhat ran out to help the gas tank, and Long shouted, "Dad's home." The mother was also happy, looking at her son-in-law with gratitude. Without anyone telling anyone, the whole family set about installing the new stove together. The sound of laughter and chatter echoed through the small, cozy kitchen. After many days of hardship, the small family finally found peace again. The whole family gathered together. Laughter echoed throughout the small house. Looking at them at that moment, everyone could clearly see their simple but complete happiness.